Hi guys, Nerdy Perkins here, doing my review for One Piece Chapter 824, Little Pirate Games. Another fun in-between arc chapter. We'll start off with the color spread. I really like this one. Particularly the Straw Hats outfits. I liked Luffy's koala hoodie. Brooke and Frankie's sweaters were really fun looking. You got Brooke in kind of this orange sweater. As well as Frankie in this really nice black and blue sweater with a little V-neck cut. I really like that. As well as Robin's leather jacket and her white cowboy hat, a little bit closer to her classic look. I also wondered while looking at it how exactly Sanji's barbecue, stays there while the roller coaster is going on. That probably takes a lot of skill. But he is quite a skilled chef. But anyway, the one other thing I wanted to note about it is that Brooke, Nami, and Chopper's reactions are very similar to that of when Luffy grabs them and jumps off Zoe with them. I don't know if Oda was meant to do that or was actually trying to make that kind of parallel, but I thought that was kind of funny. Also, the design of the coaster, the koala coaster, was pretty cool as well. Anyway, on to the actual chapter itself. The first big thing that I want to talk about is Luffy seeing Dragon for the first time. This is a big deal. I hadn't even thought about the fact that Luffy's never actually seen his dad. He only knows his father's name. And I love that his reaction to it is oh, well, he doesn't really look anything like me. Obviously, there was a bit of shock there as well, but he was honestly more concerned about how Sabo's doing, which makes sense. That's just how Luffy is. So we learned that that the Revolutionary Army fled after after their clash with Blackbeard, and that Blackbeard then fled after clashing with Cypher Pole. We aren't sure which Cypher Pole. My guess would be Cypher Pole 0, but it could have been any of them. The other thing that I'm curious about is who the mysterious source is. My guess would be that it is, oh, what's his name? The invisible guy. Sorry, I have the worst memory with names, so I do apologize. But my guess is it's him and his little news service that he's running with a Thriller Bark gang. But it's also assumed that Pedro says that Dragon and Sabo most likely both escaped, or else it would have been newsworthy. So they likely weren't killed or captured, which I do like because the one thing I didn't want to happen with Blackbeard attacking the Revolutionaries was a repeat of Ace being captured by Blackbeard with Sabo in his place. So I'm glad that seems to not have happened. As to where the Revolutionaries went, we'll just have to see. I'm hoping that this may be a setup for them to crash the Reverie, but time will only tell with that. My guess is we probably will get through the Big Mom arc before we really find out what happens with Reverie, but who knows? We did skip a couple days in this chapter, so anything's possible at the moment. Now, back to the Sunny itself. Loved the gags with the food, with Luffy both setting the kitchen aflame and trying to do repairs. We didn't see the repairs themselves, but I'm betting Frankie's not going to be too pleased about it because we kind of have the Mary to go on on how well they were at keeping up a ship. But also Luffy's horrible surprise curry was great, and him using up all the food was really good and really sets up the fact that the Straw Hats really are sort of useless when they don't have Sanji to kind of do the food for them. Now the next really big thing is we finally... Oh, well, before that, we got a little flash of Zoe when they were wondering about whether or not how the hell Jack is able to find them and what's going to happen after that point. And we also see that Jack is somehow still alive down at the bottom of the ocean. So And he seems to be trying, he seems to be hoping that someone's going to come save him. So I'm assuming Oda wouldn't show that if he wasn't going to escape somehow, but we'll just have to see about that. Maybe he himself has a Vivid card that that can lead to him, but who knows about that. Anyway, we finally, the thing I was talking about before, we finally get to see Kaido really like moving and interacting and talking. I don't know if we saw him talk at all when he was first introduced, but he's hilarious. He's just a drunk. He really loves his booze just as much as Zoro does, and he seems to kind of have these mood swings going from being a super sad drunk who's lamenting over, oh, how poor Doffy, I guess it was just too weak, to getting just super, super angry when they bring up Luffy and Law and him just like literally bashing one of his subordinates who's holding the posters just out into the water, out off of the island. So we just get a little taste of his full power, and he is truly, truly mighty. And we also get confirmation that Kid has in fact been defeated and imprisoned by Kaido. So really unclear as to what else happened when Kaido dropped in, but it's obvious that Kid did not want to work under Kaido. And it's obvious that Apu did, because we did see him earlier on the Den Den Mushi. The unanswered question is, what happened to Hawkins? Did he manage to escape? Did he decide to work under Kaido as well? We'll find out relatively soon, because this seems to be where we're tying up these kind of things at the moment. But yeah, I really liked Kaido's design too. He wasn't, because the first time we saw him, he didn't have that, like, he didn't have a shirt on. But now he has this, like, just kind of like, you know, classic pirate, like, open shirt, which was really interesting. Yeah, and we got to see his eyes as well when he was doing his whole, "Who do you think I am?" Which, Jack obviously learned from the best there. And nothing too special about his eyes. They were, you know, just really bloodshot. So I wasn't really that surprised that there wasn't anything really like special about them, but who knows, there might be something that comes up at some point. But anyway, to wrap things up, we finally get to see where Sanji is, and he is of course on the Big Mom's ship, and we see him passing one of the checkpoints, which I think may be a little foreshadowing, because I think we may get the Sunny passing by there at some point as well. So, because what's his name? Sorry, Tamago mentions that if a ship that's not Big Mom's passes by this point, it's gonna get wrecked. So we'll see what happens there. Notable things about this is it sounds like that Germa 66 has already joined Mama's crew. It's unclear whether Tomago is just saying that like as a foregone conclusion because Sanji is supposed to marry Pudding, or if they have actually joined forces officially yet. And we also learned that Sanji cut ties with his father long ago, which isn't a surprise. We figured that something like that probably happened with Sanji leaving, but there's definitely seems to be an incident or something that caused him to do that. Other notable things, Big Mama knows about Baratier. We don't know how she knows. I know there has been some rumors and talk about her possibly knowing Zeph some way, which would make sense. He is a chef and she does enjoy food, so it would make sense that they're, you know, that they would possibly know each other at some point. We also get that there's no love lost between Tamago and Peckham's. Like, he's just like, yeah, he got too personal with it, and that's that. I agree with what Capone did, which is just really cold. Like, that's like, man, like, I don't know how Peckham's is going to feel about that. It seems more and more likely that Peckham's may leave Big Mom's crew, maybe join the Straw Hats. I don't know how I feel about that one, but it's a possibility that's out there. But we'll see when we actually get to Whole Cake Island. And last thing is, pudding is cute. Sanji is in trouble. The one thing I'll note is it's hard to tell. It does not look like she's the three-eyed girl that we saw previously with Big Mom, but it is. I should note that her hair is covering up her forehead a bit, and that her facial structure does look very similar to that of the three-eyed girl. But then again, they may be siblings, so that may be the case there. But yeah, so Sanji had his whole like hearts popping out of his eyes reaction, so we'll see what happens with that. But anyway, yeah, overall, I would say I give this chapter, as I said before, this is only the second week I've been giving these scores, so it's tough to actually like do it because I don't have anything to base it off of previously personally. I would say solid 4, maybe in 4.5 just with the Kaido and Kid reveals, but like I said, I'll get better at this score itself as time goes on. But anyway, yeah, if you like the video, go ahead and give it a like. You can subscribe as well. I do post lots of One Piece content as well as other anime content. Hoping to start doing some more as I get more proficient and fast with like getting all this stuff uploaded. But yeah, if you want to follow me on Twitter, my Twitter handle is @nerdy_Perkins. So you can go ahead and follow me there, where I'll post video news and other stuff as well. But yeah, until next time, guys, stay nerdy.